Hey backyard gardeners, how you doing? It's time for another episode of Hoe'ing with Dawn. And I'm going to talk about water from below containers, or as some people call them, self-watering containers. They don't really self-water themselves, but kind of. Usually what I do for my self-watering containers is I buy the premix from Gardener's Supply, but this year I wanted to try to make my own. Did a little Googling, and it looks like you basically use 4 parts of sphagnum peat moss. I don't know if I'm saying that right. And then 4 parts of really good compost. 1 part of perlite, which makes things super light and airy within the soil. And then about a cup of lime for every 5 gallons. So that's a cup of lime. And then, so I did a little napkin math, literally. Here's the napkin. And to find out, so I know that my water from below containers take 40 quarts because I would buy 2 bags from Gardener's Supply. And doing a little math, it looks like about 4.1 or 4.2 gallons of peat, 4.1 or 2 gallons of compost, a gallon of perlite, and then 1.5 cups of lime. So, you know, gardening's not an exact science. It's just sort of an exact science. It's not baking. Baking is an exact science. So that's what we're going to be mixing up today. This might be a multi-part video. It's getting a little warm out here in Los Angeles on April 2nd. It's about, I don't know, it's probably like 78, 79, 80 degrees right now. And I got to get these tomatoes in. I mean, let's be honest. April 2nd is like getting a little late to get tomatoes in LA. So we got to get them in the ground or in the container, as it were. So let me get started. Yeah, so let me just take you through my self-watering containers here. This year I'm using like 4 or 5 of them. I used to have 7 or 8, but they're getting kind of old. They don't make these anymore, actually. These were from Gardener's Supply. You can either make your own, or you can use Earthbox has these type of water from below containers. And what you do is you just put this guy in the bottom, put your soil in there, and really pack it down into those little divots. And you'll see that there are holes in these, and that's where the roots go down. And you obviously put the water in the front there, and the roots go down and get whatever water they need. So this is the perlite I'm using because I couldn't find anything else. Some super good compost, and then of course some peat moss right from Canada, because if I see anything Canadian, I gotta buy it. And I've already pre-mixed my first, I haven't pre-mixed it yet, but I've already dumped the stuff in there. 4 parts, 4 parts, 1 part perlite, you'll see on the top. And then what I'm going to use is I have some leftover tomato fertilizer from Gardener's Supply, and I'll put 1 bag of this in, and this is 1.5 pounds. The reason I like this is because it's got calcium. Calcium is super important to prevent bottom rot. So I've mixed everything now, and I've wet it down, so that's important that it all gets nice and wet. And then I'm going to put it into that pot right there. As I mentioned, it is so important that you wash out those water from below containers before you start. So whatever was in there last year, all your little bugs and things that you don't even know are there, you know, you need to wash them out good with soap and water. And I did the same with the bucket that I used here. So just make sure you do that. Good plant hygiene. So as we continue with the Hoe'ing from Dawn episode here, we're going to plant a Keo right now, or Aiko, I guess is the right name of it. This is a cherry from Japan. Comes out in olive shape, you know, a little smaller than a golf ball, of course. And then what I'm going to do is, just like I showed you in the previous video, See, he's got a lot of stems down here below. We don't want that because we're going to plant them deep. So we're just going to take these off. And I'll decide if I'm going to take this one off. And I probably should anyway. And then make a nice deep hole. So these are not very deep, these containers, right? Because you saw that they have that black thing, and then there's a water from below on the bottom. So I dig almost right to the black, and you know, they don't get as planted as deep as I would like, but you know, that's okay. So then you'll see that it's a little root bound, so just very gently, we don't want to hurt the baby, very gently break it up a little bit so that the roots know, hey, I gotta go find something delicious to feed the plant, to feed the mother lode. And we put it down there, make sure it's good and straight, and then fill it in. And my mom, who I miss terribly, by the way, because of COVID, she's normally down here to help plant with me, and it's hard work doing this all by yourself. So Mom, I miss you in more than one way, and I wish you'd get on a plane and come see me, but I know that's not really possible right now. So my mom taught me that they like to be tight. So when you put your plant in, push down, and obviously don't get too close because you don't want to break the stem. I've actually done that before. It's kind of heartbreaking. And then I really like my self mix here. I hope it works out. It's deep, 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 dark. It's full of nutrients. I'm super excited about it. So now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna let this guy grow for probably a week or two, but I'm only gonna water from the top because the roots are not established yet and they don't really know, hey, that's where I gotta go. So it's obviously super damp right now because you have to put wet soil in here to help get the wicking started. So doesn't that look like just a healthy plant? I'm so excited. Tomato season always makes me so happy. Is there a bug on there? Jesus, already? My God. Anyways, so that's it. This took me way longer than it does when I have my mom help me, so we'll talk to you guys later in the next video.